It's one of the oldest prepared foods around. We've been eating it for ages, probably close to 10,000 years. Back then, the population of the world was only around 5 million people, and we'd just got going with this whole agriculture business. Agriculture changed the way we sourced and stored food. Grain became a big deal, and with grain came the best thing before sliced bread. Bread. We take it for granted now, but it wasn't always the fluffy risen number we pop in the toaster. Have you ever wondered what makes bread rise? We're going to have to learn a little something about chemistry. What's more simple than a freshly baked slice of beautiful fluffy bread? This mix of flour, water and some other bits and bobs is actually a chemical wonder, which we've spent a really long time perfecting. The airy quality comes from leavening the bread, which means adding gas. Not all bread is leavened, but when it is, the bread has a lighter, fluffier texture. Wheat flour contains gluten, which is a mix of proteins. Gluten helps the bread maintain its shape. Adding water and kneading the dough helps to form cross-linked gluten strands, which create a stretchy viscoelastic network. This is perfect for trapping gas, which is produced with the help of these little things.
Yay! Yay!
Yeast!
Yay!
This living fungus is the baker's favourite single-celled microorganism. Yeast helps perform a chemical reaction called fermentation. Yeast converts sugars present in the dough into carbon dioxide gas and ethanol. The carbon dioxide created is trapped in the elastic gluten network, causing the dough to rise and expand. And the ethanol is burned off during baking. Baker's yeast is produced en masse and is readily available today, but it wasn't always that way. Before yeast was commercialised, the way to make leavened bread was with a sourdough starter, which contains naturally occurring yeast and bacteria. It's sour because the bacteria produce lactic acid. Flour contains a bunch of natural yeast and bacteria, and with time, warmth and a little bit of love, this culture can develop. Once you have a sourdough starter, you can keep the raw dough alive and growing. But this process isn't for everyone, and the baker's yeast works a treat. So, when you next pop a light, fluffy piece of bread in your mouth, remember, it's down to a matter of chemistry.